Hey there, Luminary here, and it is the cusp of Thursday, the 27th of October, 2011. I should have been in bed by now. I've got to be in class in about 6-7 hours, I think. I like to get up 2 hours early, so I'm going to lose sleep. But I saw this, and I had to say something. I saw a press release for, let me pull it up here. I know I should have materials ready. Martial Empires, and it seems like every game is producing their Halloween-y version of what's going on to draw attention to their game or keep their players inside with different events and whatnot. And this particular subject isn't something I'm concerned with. Every game does that. There should be a holiday, and WoW does a good job of that with their alternate holidays such as Winter's Veil and Brewfest and the Midsummer's Festival and whatnot. But what bugs me is that increasingly, well, maybe not even increasingly, it's probably been pretty steady when it comes down to female characters being armored in games. They go from being more clothed than they should be to as little clothes as possible. And the male characters end up being these huge armored tanks. And really? Okay, so if a male tank type is going to do their thing, which is draw the attention of the thing that is trying to kill all of you, and try to keep their attention and expect to be healed, they pretty much all the time look like they're ready to take a beating. They are fully covered in armor. Their visor is closed unless you choose not to show your helmet, which, you know, for realism circumstances, yeah, put it on. But for anything else, why would you? It's all about the looks of your character, you know, in the end. But when you have a female character in that role, she pretty much wears a thin strip of metal that pretty much covers the nipples and barely enough to cover the bits. And there's probably some fishnetting and some other things to make them look as attractive as possible. And it is definitely geek bait. That's for sure. For all the neckbeards and other people who can't go out and get their own action because they're socially inept, lazy, or just don't give a damn and can find all the entertainment they need online and at home. I guess it works out. I don't know, but it just kind of bugs me. I know that most games aren't about realism, but think about it. If I had to choose between the dude who looks like he's about ready to get hit by a shotgun blast over the chick who looks like she'll get cut by the fine ribbons of a feather if it rubs her the wrong way, I'm going to choose the dude in the armor. It makes sense. Why would you make any other decision? This guy looks like he can take a beating, but this chick, I'm not sure. I mean, well, maybe if she lets us touch her, we'll let her go out and take a beating real quick. And who knows, maybe her getting a beating would be extremely hot. And, you know, and it's not necessarily those roles either. I mean, if you look at all of the other roles that they play, like mage, and then, mind you, these are generic roles, mage, or some kind of physical ranged, magical ranged, healers, whatever. I mean, even the healers are getting a little risque. I mean, you've got the male priests that are fully donned in really cool robes, and then you have the female priests who have no business being in any kind of cathedral. What are they thinking? I mean, don't get me wrong; they do a good job with all the baiting, but it makes no sense. I guess when it comes down to it, in a fantasy world, you're going to pick what works, and if a chick that looks like she's about to fall out of her uniform at any given moment is going to do the job because her stats are where they need to be, and she's relatively pleasant to look at when she strikes and watch her butt jiggle, why not? I'm a dork. I can understand. I don't want to knock it. It's entertaining, but I think that if they were to keep with the realism with everything, it probably wouldn't sell well. That's the whole Laura Croft effect, and yeah, I'm going to call it that. Laura Croft by herself would. I don't understand how she stands upright. I don't understand how she doesn't fall forward. Maybe that's what propels her going forward, in one particular direction. She'll, when you start running, have you noticed it takes her a minute to stop? Or when she jumps, she always leans forward way too much. Just play the games and watch. Not the new one. The new one looks relatively legit. She's not as top heavy. It's not as geek baity. But all of the old stuff from Tomb Raider 1, in fact, if you watch some of the FMVs, you'll see that those polygons jiggle like crazy. And all I can sit there and think is, yeah, a bunch of dudes made this, probably lost their wives and had to find a way to entertain themselves. Yeah. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say on that, I guess. Dork baiting. Nerd baiting. Ugh. Well, that's all I'm going to give you for now. I need to get some sleep. I'm Luminary, and I'll see you next time.